Sniper's pretty much always been my least played class. I mean, relative to the amount of hours I have in this game. You know, mostly because I'm so good at it. I gotta give the other team a chance, right? Almost not. Dang it! Also, every server has 12 snipers anyway. But I still got some ideas for new sniper weapons. Maybe not weapons that would be ultra useful and competitive, but as long as the weapon is fun and effectively balanced, on a pub at least, that's all that really matters. But I don't have any way of playtesting these, so let me know what you think of them. For this first weapon, imagine a cross between the sniper rifle, the Huntsman, and the Crusader's crossbow for the medic. This crossbow for sniper would have a scope, but unlike the sniper rifle, scoping builds up charge. The crossbow's arrows will deal up to plus 25% damage and be up to plus 25% faster based on the charge. And it also charges 25% faster than the stock rifle. Lots of 25s going on here. This weapon would share the same reload speed and base projectile speed as the Crusader's crossbow. And like the medic's crossbow, this one's damage is also based on distance traveled. But the base damage values are similar to the Huntsman's. Without charging the Huntsman, the arrow does 50 damage and at full charge does 120 base damage. This crossbow will deal 50 damage at point blank and 120 at long range, but this can be increased through scoping. And finally, with all this, headshots will only mini-crit. Compared to the Huntsman, this weapon would tend to be a lot better at long range and worse at close, which is kind of opposite of the Huntsman. The Huntsman tends to be better at close range. But the crossbow would reload faster and not require to slow down to fire, only slow down when scoped. And all this at the cost of dealing only mini-crit damage on headshots. If the mini-crit thing ends up being too much of a downside, it could always be changed to just close-range headshots mini-crit. This next weapon is actually intended to be a secondary for the Engineer too, so you're getting a little bonus here. But first, a little history lesson. In Team Fortress Classic, every class had some kind of grenade. This was going to be carried into Team Fortress 2, but ended up being imbalanced. And one of those was going to be a bear trap. And I thought that would be a pretty neat idea. But instead of being in its own slot, it would replace the SMG on Sniper and the pistol on Engineer. So you throw down a trap, and upon being stepped on by an enemy, it would deal 50 damage, 8 seconds of bleed damage, and 8 seconds of 10% slower movement speed on that person. I know speed reduction is kind of an unfun thing to mess with, but if you're not paying attention, you step on a trap, it's mostly your fault anyway. However, if the trap directly hits an enemy, it will deal half the damage and half the bleed duration with no slowdown effect. So if you just want to lob bear traps at people's heads, you could do that. The traps would have a 30-second recharge time, and up to 3 traps could be placed at once. Probably with a little indicator on the bottom showing you how many active traps you have, kind of like Demo Man's sticky bombs. But these traps would have 75 health and can be destroyed by taking damage and can be sapped by enemy spies. Sniper has the least amount of melee weapons of any class, so I felt kind of obliged to try to think of one. So this melee wouldn't be another knife, but it would be some kind of club or something. And upon hitting an enemy, you'll knock them back with a similar force to an air blast or a cannonball and gain a speed boost. The point of this would be if an enemy gets all up in your face, you can take out this weapon, smack them, and knock them back, and then run away like a coward. Since you know, Sniper doesn't usually do all too well at close range. But this weapon would have a 20% damage penalty and holster 50% slower. So it takes 0.75 a second to get your next weapon out instead of half a second. And those are my ideas for the Sniper. Let me know what you think. The Spy video got a lot of good feedback, and that was pretty cool. I wasn't sure how much people would like this series, but hey, I did a video on the Spy, like this one. Check it out if you didn't see it already. I mean, if you want to. It's a free country. Do it. You won't. You're scared. Alright, I'm out of here. I'll catch you all next time.